So when it comes to the lovely 5D collective, it is a bunch of people that don't know anything, since only those quote-unquote idiots are dead sure, whether it be through spirituality, spiritual, or the human elements. The human elements, let me specify, all of our lovely human subject matters, although the spiritual with metaphysics, esotericism, their subject matters too, and spirituality, yes, for those who are in it as believers is not a subject matter, but for those of us who are not in it as believers, it is a subject matter. So one might ask or ponder, well then, what do you believe in? Because these questions, well, no, we don't believe in, we believe that I'm a person, I can learn, you can learn, and that's it. And besides learning, we have emotions. That's right. Being a human, you have emotions. And on the note of mysticism, because as a woo-woo lady with mysticism, it's very fascinating to share about the energy with tarot, with Akashic record readings, and with clairs, because see, this is the amazing journey of a person who is in the 5D collective. Again, mystics, come on over, because the 4D don't give you the bandwidth that you can actually access once you bring together, even though it should be in your inclined beingness. And I say should when I should say could, and really I'm going to try and explain it so that you might be able to figure it out. If you believe in the devil or evil in a sense of human species is evil and not nature, then you already are in a 4D collective mindset. And that's because they actually separate themselves from being a human. And there you go, human experience. Apparently nobody that I've met so far as a mystic can figure out that we are not evil or imbalanced, that we are a species that evolves. And here's my human subject matters, which I love so much. They explain our embodied brain. I love Daniel Siegel for learning about interpersonal neurobiology. And I was actually looking at how to describe what this beautiful course is, and I will use Wikipedia. So, interpersonal neurobiology or relational neurobiology is an interdisciplinary framework that was developed in the 1990s by Daniel J. Siegel, who sought to bring together scientific disciplines to demonstrate how the mind, brain, and relationships integrate. I'm not going to read anymore. I'm still finishing up the course. It's amazing. And of course, when you go and look at the empirical, where is it? There's small studies, is what it's showing. But at the end of the day, when you fast forward, it's 2023, I learn from other therapists because I take trauma-informed courses and I have plenty of hours. And with NICBM particularly, there were a lot of different subject matters we looked at, from how to support people with the transgenerational trauma of racism, to repair and rupture for those who have childhood trauma where they did not get to learn about repair and rupture. And so a lot of adults who get into unfortunate forever fights when really everybody's going to feel sucky about it. And a lot of more things. But long story short, all of them, the good ones, because, well, they're all good. The ones who are not good are talking about our emotions being stupid and not aware that our emotions actually are not stupid, that our emotional body, number one element that you would want to look at, because if you don't have those 6 basic emotions in a way of being mature about them as an adult, so it means that you don't go rigid and then chaotic, you're not yet a functional adult. So you're not in your full human being well-being. And that's why the human elements are awesome, and that's why subject matters are awesome, and spirituality and spiritual, and the metaphysics is in my spirit. So I use spiritual because it's different than spirituality, because spirituality, I got Sadhguru, and he's my only go-to for that, and that's it. And I'm not going to ever be right on anything because I totally have a horrible memory for data. So on that note, the gist of things, integration of the brain is proven from other studies, and again, I'm sure our empirical scientific methodology people, the ones who care about the human race, so they want to see us moving forward, and so they love to see how we are part of nature. In fact, we evolved to have secondary consciousness. Here's where my 4D collective, whenever they say, I wish I didn't speak, I wish I was with the stars, I wish I wasn't here, and I'm thinking, what the heck are you talking about? If you weren't here, you wouldn't be living. But I forgot. They don't know about the adaptive child who has unresolved trauma, who is inside longing to be seen, to be soothed, to be safe, to be secure. Lo and behold, attachment. And we all have the attachment system and the defense system. In fact, they're both our own motivators. But when they contradict each other, lo and behold, structural dissociation, which we've talked about. So when I was growing up, I saw a lot of teenagers being inconsistent. And I'm like, what are they doing? And then I grew up and I saw adults being inconsistent. And then I took my lovely Dr. Albert Wong, thank you so much, for the course on the basics of trauma. That's my first trauma-informed educational certificate. Then I got a bunch more because I got really passionate, since I do create content to support your inner growth, for you to be yourself and deal with the unknown, uncertainty, and unwanted from within you while going with the flow. And my basic inner growth mindset model was created with psychology, sociology, and existentialism as my foundational research. The mysticism came after. And I love that. And I always wondered, how am I going to talk about the light worker's journey? I was like, oh, I see. Because see, again, 5D collective, don't go saying I ain't human and let me not help the entire human race. No, we're going to help the world be a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. So some of us, we're actually global citizens for real. And whether we come from the stars or not, we are still here and not sent on a mission, which sounds very egoic. And like, I'm a little child who wants to feel special. And there we go again with I was not seen, I was not soothed, I was not safe, I was not secure. These are very serious topics. Thank you, Patrick Tiahan, for pointing out how the adaptive child learns to weaponize their words. And that's through groups that use psychoeducation and they call each other names. The extreme cancel culture that doesn't know that a serious person doing therapy is not going to go say, I'm going to cancel you now because you're an energy vampire. No, they're not going to do that. It's going to be hard because their heart's going to be very sad, because they're going to have to tell people that they love, I'm on a journey to heal my unresolved trauma, which is really deep within my attachment system, my defense system. And I'm doing way better right now. And interacting with you when you do stuff like this, it triggers me because I have memory in my body, and my brain also stores. Now, the brain anticipates, Thank you, Daniel Siegel. The brain anticipates, but we also have memory. There's a lot of ways you can learn about the beautiful brain of yours. And the mind, Daniel Siegel separates them, because the brain would be the actual structure. And it's funny because our brain anticipates, here's where people say, negativity bias. Yes, that's not to be negative, which is where, again, our adaptive children have gone down the path of I'm the wrath of evil, or I'm the superhero who's saving people from evil. So while the 4D collective uses their lovely mysticism, clairs, all that stuff, the spiritual, and even the spirituality concepts, lo and behold, Sadhguru, I love you, I know what you're doing, but some people, they don't know when you say love means to nurture a life beyond opinions and prejudice, that you mean love your neighbor. They even don't understand when you say love means, or no, which one was it? A training ground. Family is a training ground to go beyond your likes and dislikes. So for 5D Collective, family is our playground, not a training ground. The lovers know how to dance a tango. So when we meet people who are emotionally immature and insecure, they're not unavailable. They're not assholes. And yes, they can be, like a lot of people, when I see people talking about the human species and saying we're parasites. I'm not liking you right now because I'm a human and I want to live. I'm like, some who don't want us to live. Again, contradiction, structural dissociation. The reality is nobody actually wants to not live. When it comes to the essence of it, especially if you want to look at existentialism and the fact that humans have secondary consciousness, which means we wonder, if I exist, why do I exist? The question mark of the meaning of life. Lo and behold, philosophy. And it always goes back to the same concept. When you wake up in the morning, who's in your brain? You are. So if you learn how to do inner growth, you might get out of the monkey, doll, butterfly, one-focused, or enamored with oneself mindset. What you also might understand is that unresolved trauma are uncomfortable emotions. They're immature, they're insecure, and they get you to be rigid and chaotic. I still have my 2-year-old when my mother tries to tell me to do things sometimes, and that's because I'm trying to say, no, I'm a differentiated self, and I do it like a little rigid 2-year-old. And it's okay, because I'm learning how not to do it with my tone and my body. So we all can integrate our brain. Now, there are a lot of other things we talk about. And those who have a challenge, there's great therapists out there, and also people who support in the middle, the holistic practitioners, who also have a list of therapists handy, because we know that we're not therapists. There's a difference. And we also know that the people who hurt people don't know that they can get work, and they don't really want to because they're busy with their hero, villain, survivor stuff stories. So we leave it alone. 5D Collective, be compassionate Zen masters, love each other, and grow the mindful relationships. See you again soon.